I'm Angela Martin and welcome to another episode of Digicast. On the previous episode, we've looked at the cosmetic changes from the previous operating system to some useful new tips, such as calling out our mouse pointer. We also covered the use of natural language within Spotlight Search, as well as the mention of other Spotlight features still to come, such as searching for a weather report of a certain location, sports results, or the search of stock and trade within the stock market. I must mention that I will have another episode available as soon as these features become available in South Africa. Now, as mentioned at the end of the previous episode, in this episode we will look at the new navigational features available to El Capitan. So let's get started with the navigational features by starting with the new features within Mission Control. Now, to access Mission Control is much easier within El Capitan. Now, to demonstrate how Mission Control works within the new operating system, I'll first open a few applications such as my Safari browser, my contacts, as well as my calendars. Now, to access Mission Control, I can use the conventional method, which is clicking on the application Mission Control. Now I can see that I don't have a shortcut of the application on my dock, so I can search for it as well as open it within my Spotlight Search. So if I go into my Spotlight Search and I type in Mission Control, I can hit enter and it will flare out my windows that I've opened previously, and I can click on any of the windows that are open, which will bring that application to the front as indicated in the top left hand corner. I can also use the shortcut key by pressing on the F3 key, which will then execute the same function. This time around I'll use a different application. Now, the other method that can be used in El Capitan only is to click on the application window toolbar at the top of the window and drag it right to the top of the screen. This will then also activate Mission Control. Now, the other purpose of accessing Mission Control in this method is to take that window that is being dragged to the top into full screen mode. Now, the conventional method of putting a window into full screen mode is to click on the green window button that is on that particular window. Now, when I click on that green button, it will access full screen mode. Now, to bring it back into window mode, I can either go back to the top with my mouse pointer and click on that green button again, which will bring it to window mode, or I can, from full screen mode, hit my escape key. Now, if I should drag the window to the top, it will then move it into Mission Control, and if I take that window and drag it either to the left or to the right of my desktop, it will create a blank window with a plus on it, indicating that I'm about to drag my calendars window into full screen mode. And I can do the same with my Safari browser. This time I will move it to the right of my desktop. So now I've got two applications running in full screen mode while the contacts application is running in window mode. So now bringing it back into window mode, where I did it before in the window itself, I can go into Mission Control. While in Mission Control, I can move my mouse pointer over the window, and I'll see that it gives me this circle with these two arrows that shows diagonally into each other. If I click on that button, it will then move it back into window mode. The same with calendars. So that is full screen mode combined and made easier now within Mission Control within El Capitan. Now, the other new feature that's been introduced combined with Mission Control is split view. To access split view, I can again go to the green window button. When I hold down the green window button, I'll see that the half of the screen is grayed out. Now, this means that this window that I've been holding down, if I should release the green button, will move that particular window into full screen mode into that half of the screen. Now, the other half of the screen can be used to access another application or window into full screen mode. So now I've got two applications running in full screen mode on the same screen. My split view also allows me to resize certain parts of the screen to allocate a certain screen real estate for the application of my choosing within that split view. So if I move my mouse pointer into the center of the split view, I can either move the line to the left, which will then make my window or my application on the right hand side bigger, or I can move the line to the right, which will then make the window on the left larger. If I do decide to close down any of the windows or even take it out of full screen mode back into window mode, then the application remaining in full screen mode will then take over the entire screen as indicated on my mission control. Now if I bring back my calendars back into window mode, I can also take the windows into split view within mission control. Now to do that, I'll first move my one window into full screen mode by dragging it into the top gray bar, and my second window I'll not drag into a separate space, but this time within the same window as the full screen window at the top of the gray bar. And by doing this, it will create a split view. So if I click to bring it back to window mode, it will bring both of them back into window mode. So that is my split view combined with mission control. Now what makes mission control as well as split view easier is the use of my multi-touch gestures. Now with El Capitan, an additional multi-touch gesture was also added. Now to access my multi-touch gesture settings, I will go into my system preferences, which is going to the apple in the top left hand corner, clicking on system preferences in my Apple menu, and in my system preferences I will either select the mouse setting if I'm using a magic mouse, or in my case I'm using a trackpad, or even with a magic trackpad I will use the trackpad option. Now within my trackpad setting I will have these three tab buttons, the first one being the more simpler setting, which is the normal point and click settings, and there I'll see that there's a secondary click option. Now within the settings, what makes it easy to follow is the fact that it gives a preview window on the right hand side of that window, showing you what that setting will actually do. Now moving further on, there's the tap click option within the point and click. Then I can go to the scroll and zoom, which shows me all of the scroll and zoom options, and then there's the more gestures. Now with the more gestures, it gives me the more advanced multi-touch gestures. Now one of the multi-touch gestures is also to access the mission control, and here it shows us swiping up 3 fingers will also give us the option to access our mission control. The other new setting that's been added is also app expose. Now as I can see, it's not been activated. By default, it's not activated when installing El Capitan, but I'll activate it for now. Now, the app expose makes it easier to see only a window or even multiple windows within a specific application. So now that I've activated app expose, if I should swipe down 3 fingers as indicated, it will only show me my system preference window because I'm currently in system preferences. So if I should go into say a different application where I can run multiple windows, let's use the Safari browser. Add in another window by going to File, New Window, and I'll add in a third window. So now I'm running 3 windows within that one application. In the first window, I'll go into the Digicape website. Also, I'll go into the Apple website in the second one. And in the third one, I'll go into the Apple Insider website. So now I've got 3 different websites running. Now if I want to see them all as I would in mission control, I would use the app expose by swiping the 3 fingers down, which will then show me all of the windows within that application only. So that wraps up our second episode of the new features of El Capitan. In our next episode, we'll be looking at the new features of our Safari browser. So thank you for watching this episode of Digicast with me, Angela Martin. Hope you have a fantastic day, and goodbye.